see King of Kings picking up here? Because they had a good draft. Do they need an even better draft?
No, this is fine. Like, give me this every day of the week. I think if as a team you draft like this and you start looking at the draft as like, okay, maybe we got to pick stronger lanes, you're making up for a deficit that you really should just be playing your way out of. It's like, no, you keep drafting like this and you go practice laning stage 2 versus 2 the entire week. Screw it.
Barry, do you
I
like
agree.
that Mars first pickup? Because they'd be taking that off lane, I'm imagining. We just saw a mid Mars. Is that too unusual?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Mini can play it. You know, he's the king of weird mid heroes. He likes to play mid Sand King, mid. Oh, I guess that's gonna be Invoker. You know, I don't mind King the go-to chorus right from the beginning because they don't have light speak on either the second or third phase. So just making sure you get the chorus that you want seems fine to me, and it's definitely more like their mojo. You know, having that Mars denying it from lava and having Min's Invoker. I think that's his best hero by far.
And Kips, I want to talk about this IO because Lava have picked it up again now, so that's 2 times in a row. We didn't speak much about it as a factor in their win before. Do you think they're just confident on this, or was it something that allowed them to develop a strategy?
It definitely allowed them to play a super high-paced game, but they also got a bit lucky with how Leo Style was able to completely dominate that mid lane. That made those first IO rotations with the immediate relocate that much more potent. And I mean, here with a Leshrac is a little bit more of a sieging combination, right? And this should be able to give King of Kings, at least with the Invoker and the Mars, a good team fight combination to keep them off these towers. Because it's going to be towers that are the goal now, not kills.
Is it always going to
Yeah.
be Tau? Because is this a push lineup? Do you agree, Bowie?
I think it doesn't have to be a push lineup, but Leshrac, I think he has two very strong like advantages as a hero. First, he can force towers. The second one, he can team fight. And like his problem is that he's kind of squishy, and you want to go damage items or control items on the U scepter. When you have this IO, you can be much greedier in the way that you itemize, and you're still gonna be having a lot of mana coming from the IO as well as the sustainability. I love this pick, but it is not a good matchup versus Invoker. You know, he has very big cast points, generally speaking. So I think they're probably gonna play this push style where you're not really team fighting the Invoker. You're more of like just forcing everyone to TP to those towers and defend.
And what sort of stuff are they? Because they've banned out already the Skywrath and the Elder Titan. What are those bans hinting towards? Because you can often get a sense of where a draft's going to go from these second phases bans. Is that giving you any particular clues?
They just crushed Biscos with the Scarif Mage last time, and I think when you have this Mars has so much magic damage with the Arena plus Spear, it just the silence is insane on Scarif Mage. They buffed the cast range a couple of times. The hero is really fast, so I think APU they definitely made me realize how strong this hero is. I don't mind seeing banned.
The PL
Yeah,
seems like a strange band on King of Kings. Why do you think they've taken that out, Kips?
I'm still looking at those bans from Lava because I think it does signify something, which is that they're not looking to have a lot of backline jump here either. They are expecting to be a little bit more static. With these 3 bans out, like if you have anybody who can go on the backlines, let's say a Void Spirit or something, you are definitely not going to remove a Disruptor, for example. That would be too easy of a prey. I mean, a Void Spirit maybe they were a bad example, but still, they're looking to be more static this game. And then with the PL, I partially just a respect ban. I think I've seen Kotaro wreak absolute havoc on this hero before, but next to that, also definitely an indication that they're not looking to clear waves this time. This is going to be a fighting draft, and this certainly looks like a whole bunch of brawling.
King of Kings picking up those favoured support duo that you mentioned, the Treant and the Mirana. Well, actually, we're not seeing much Mirana for them. We've seen a lot of Treant. Do you know them as Mirana players, Bowie?
Yeah. It's definitely something that they love playing on Jupiter. You do have this Mars, so the spear arrow combination is really good. I also feel like you have a lot of ways to combo the arrow. Quasar's Invoker, because of the duration of Tornado, it's actually not that hard to set up Tornado into arrow. Overall, I think this Mirana has lots of lanes you can rotate to. Once 3 and 6, you also have a setup. It seems like a very solid Mirana game.
And how would you close out this draft if you were choosing here?
I think you have to wait for this last pick, but honestly, looking at this PL band that we were talking about, like because they already have this Leshrac pick, I think the PL would be like the Leshrac would be a really good way to set up the PL because usually you would get the Lesh as a response. Oh, and they got Jug again.
Well, it worked for them before, so they can get up again. I don't see any reason why it doesn't. Are you happy with this one, Kips?
Yeah, decently so. You can of course always spin out of the arena. The Invoker is not a big time threat to you early on either. The question, of course, for you as a Jug is: do you really want to build a Manta style to fully protect yourself versus the Overgrowth, which is often a meh.
I quite like Manta on Jug. It feels nice. He's got it's good stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty good stuff, but it's not.
There's definitely better
the
items.
not straight damage that you usually want. And I mean, if they are confident that they can play a momentum-based game again, then yeah, this Juggernaut is going to work out absolutely fantastic once again. Interesting
I really like
bans here
the
from King of Kings.
Morphling ban. I think it's definitely one hero that you can become a better Juggernaut in a way. You don't care about arena.
Yes, I was just about to say Medusa, but you were talking, so I didn't get to bask in my glory of having protected that.
That was my plan all along. You're not gonna take the highlight out of me. I'm joking.
It's a good one. Talk to me about the Medusa pick then. Why did I think that would work so well?
I mean, you have this Invoker to set up the Dusa to become a super strong core. The Chain Protector just slows down the game quite a bit with the Living Armor. So you're buying time for this Dusa's power spike at minute 20, 25 to just get one Aegis and force high ground. I think that's a fine pick. They do not know their lanes though, so I think it's gonna be really good for Lava. Whatever it is that they choose will have. I mean, that lane's not that strong to begin with. Trian is a strong support, but Dusa quite weak. I think Lava has a lot of leanway in what they want to pick. Probably gonna be some sort of Centaur to the gap close maybe. You are against Mars though, so the Centaur kind of doesn't feel that good. But
do you like Axe maybe?
Doom?
No, it's a Legion.
Mm.
Why the Legion, Kips? What do you think that this is signifying?
I mean, it's a great hero to combine with the IO. Either the Legion roams with the IO, or the Legion buys a Blink Dagger, finds the target, and the IO rotates in with the Lesh or the Jug. You also have the Snapfire from long range to secure your jewels. And of course, also the Hard Dispel of the Legion Commander is great to free anyone who's getting caught by the Treant Protector. So altogether, I really like that pick. If they can get it through the lanes. This is, of course, a melee hero that sometimes struggles a little bit, and Treant Protector is definitely going to slap her around a bit.
Do you agree with that? Is it all in the lanes here?
I mean, obviously the lane is not gonna. I mean, Treant definitely does well against melee offlaners. I just feel like overall this looks like a better Lava draft to me. This Legion Snapfire is super deadly. I don't think this like any of the lanes besides the Mars Baron is strong. So I think I just favor Lava. They played so well in the first game that I really feel like APU Kings will need a total revamp, a total. They're gonna have to show totally different this time to convince me.
Well, they were dominant in game one, Lava, with a worse draft, and now they've got a better draft. Will they be even more dominant? We're going to find out with two very handsome men, Gareth and Lacoste.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, here we are. I mean, Apu King's
Go
game
on,
plan.
please.
It makes it simpler when you've got a Medusa in a team, doesn't it, Lacoste? You can focus around one hero, and she's not a PA off on side lanes farming away. But do you agree that Lava have a better draft than game one?
Oh, for sure. Like, it makes more sense to me than what they had in the previous one, even though the game number one was a complete stomp. I want to see how they're going to be matching up against Medusa. This time around, Apu Kings, they got Mirana, which means that they will be a bit more active early on. They also have Mars. They have, like, Sunstrike combination from Invoker. Chain Protector Medusa, something that has been popular over all other regions, I would say. Combination of the two heroes where you can stall the game long enough for Medusa to come online. I want to see how that's gonna match up because, like, Treant Protector, he does very good job at protecting the towers. But on the other side, you have Leshrac, who's the best tower taking
Yeah.
hero in the game. Like, he doesn't care about the chip damage. He goes in full force, takes the tower. So it's gonna be a bit difficult for Treant Protector to hold the towers, which is kind of one of his purpose. Let's see who is gonna be paired up with Legion Commander mid lane. Arrow actually connects, but different
They
target.
get the IO caught up in the stun, but tethers away. Oh, that was a close one. Apu King's almost coming out with first blood. Very close. And that was what, Leshrac and IO going up to try and scout some observer wards, but a lot of Radiant heroes around them.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, you're right. They've got this this Treant to defend towers. They've got Mars Arena. They've got Alacrity onto Medusa. Great ways to buff up and defend the Medusa once she does hit that period of the game where she's the strongest hero on the map. But I really like the Legion last pick here from Lava to kind of counteract some of that, right? When you've got the Shard, on that press the attack, you've got a way to get out of Arena for some heroes. The Dispel up against this like Treant Mirana can get people out of those dangerous spots.
Apu King's
Like that
lineup is,
Leshrac.
oh, Arrow connect. Like, this should be the first blood.
Will it? Can I get away from this one? No. No tether. You're a Snapfire. And you've got Lil Shredder level 1.
I see you've done your homework, Gary. Snapfire does not have a tether. High level analysis right there. I think you spent too much time hanging around with me. But yeah, Snapfire dies, Medusa gets the first blood, so that's going to be a bit more... Let's see what you bought. And the Velvet skin, not bad. Like, it's actually a scary one, because you want to buy a full magic wand as well on Medusa, but since you have gold... Oh no! Snappy.
Snap dead again?
Snappy, slappy. Let's see if he can slap her one more time. Yeah, he has boots of speed.
That's a boots. That's a boots
Okay.
tree. I was wondering, is Orb of Venom anywhere? No, they don't need it. They've got boots on tree.
And now this lane is ruined. It's gonna be very hard for them to come back. Benny managed to get 2 kills. The like kill threat not gonna be as much. Frank, usually the tank, but this time around can't really match against Treant Protector right clicks. 91 damage. Nothing wrong
So
there.
what is he then? If he's not Frank the tank, he's Frank the plank, just a piece of wood in the lane doing nothing at all? He's just being bullied around by a tree.
Flanking is so hard. If you want to slow down time, if you
my
feel like
God.
your team needs more, time. Oh,
I mean, Treant and Legion are still going at it bottom. We lose the IO top. And there's fights in both of these side lanes. A 3-0 lead for the Kings, though. What year was it when we had planking? It feels like... I don't know.
7
I'm getting
years
old
ago.
now.
I don't know. Well, I feel like that was
It does feel
invented
like
in
it was 10
Australia
years
for
ago.
some reason. I don't know. Is that correct? Or I watched like some Australian video. I don't know. It's stuck in my head for whatever reason.
They just plank upside down. They do face up. We do
yeah,
face down.
They have to hold on to something, otherwise they will fall off into abyss.
Yeah. Off the side of the planet. Treant even going to gather up a water rune, so no rune for the Lesh. Attempted spin top. Valky drops down to about 1/3 of his HP. But Mars Mirana is such a potent lane with these stuns.
It was a very dry season. Trees need to pick up water to be able to grow. You level up after that. So Benny, Benny bringing gloves will get almost full power treads. Then you have this move speed advantage. You have enough damage to last hit, but there's the aggressive move.
9 stick charges up his sleeve, though, on Benny. So even though they'll pressure him back, should be okay to stick around in the lane. Creep wave going to start pushing back towards the Radiant side, though, as it's all cleared out. And yet again, a position where double dire range creeps upset the equilibrium there for Lava. A Juggernaut. Oh, Jupiter has an arrow and a leap, but Katyu is there with a salve. Keeps the jug topped up.
This
And
time
as
around,
usual, Lacoste, in our games, we've looked at both side lanes and nothing at mid.
I don't think there is going to be a kill on a mid lane unless Leo style says, well, I'm going to wait 30 seconds for a rune. He has one, actually 2 runes. They didn't pick any of these runes. This is pretty big because Treant could easily, after picking up the water rune, try to go and see. Maybe they left it. So he will go back to full HP, full mana after this.
Yeah, very nice. Especially, like you say, the emphasis that the Kings have put on giving Mini a good time, reflected in his CS, 24 and 5 denies. Not looking too bad, and we know Mini, his best hero is Invoker, his rotations are usually spot on. We'll see what he gets done in the coming minutes. For now, though, it's a bit of a go onto Leo style. Nobody coming to help him. Leshrac is left stranded.
Arrow?
With a fairy fire.
Oh, it was a zoning
comes,
arrow.
But misses.
That was
No,
a
just
really good
punches
arrow.
too hard.
You don't think about it, but he kind of blocked the spot so that if he proceeds to run, it will get caught. But if he just goes back, that means that Mini and Seren will be able to actually get him. Unfortunately, Urn of Shadow was delivered later, so there is not Urn of Shadow charge. Still, big kill.
Yeah, a bit
This time
unfortunate.
around, like, Apu King's lineup is very good at choosing where they want to fight, because with Mirana ulti, you can backstab easily, you can use Tornado, EMP, these are the zoning tools, Treant ulti, Mars Arena, like, they have so many ways, like, even Stone Gaze is really good at disengaging if you don't feel like fighting, so Lava, they will need to go in, like, try to go in with a quick kill, and then reset multiple times, but they have good ways of resetting. They have multiple heals coming out from Io, from Legion Commander, and also Healing Ward. Mid lane, Arrow.
Yeah,
Actually gotta get him.
Leo style.
That's big.
Stunned up for so long. Mini shares a kill with Jupiter. Now, the last time they killed Leo style, they did lose their Medusa. Benny is playing pretty far up that bottom lane.
Is under attack.
I don't know if they're able to do it, though, now. Like, Benny has quite a bit of tankiness with raindrops. Switch to strength treads if need be. So it will just be the kill on the Leshrac mid. Mini now closing in on level 7. Still waiting for that first kind of TP rotation or the move that he makes to upset these side lanes.
We'll see what Mini can make something happen in the next couple of minutes. But looking really good for him. Sitting at 37 and 15, has Urn of Shadow charge, which means using the Cold Snap will be much more effective. Leo style,
Oh,
putting down a ward.
well, Io's dying straight up to this Mirana. Medallion first item from Jupiter. Now the Invoker with a Cold Snap EMP. And yeah, I had that little lag as well.
I could feel it, yep. Bit of a Kale.
And this is all
Or
set
should
up
we
by
say
this deep...
Kal El?
because Invoker's in the game.
Yep.
Ka-El, the Blood Elf.
Was it Kal El or Ka-El?
Ka-El. It was K-A-E-L, if my memory serves me correctly. Or was it...
Maybe we had double
Is it the same name as
Ls.
Superman's dad? I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But yeah, K-A-E-L. Yeah, that's the one. Io dies. Radiant Observer Ward spotted the Lesh coming in, and this is... Nuage is in a very forward position here. Split Earth's on him, but Mini has another Cold Snap in a second with an Urn Charge if he wants to keep going, but he doesn't. So much pressure on this mid lane. Just everyone running at Leo style.
They want to completely
Oh,
ruin
Cookie
it right
bottom.
now.
Are they going for... Oh, I don't know. Benny's still pretty tanky, and they've got the TP from Treant. Maybe if they had duel there, they could go for the Dusa.
Mid lane again. Oh man, Leo
Oh,
style.
Have they got him?
They got
Is that
him.
like 3 in a row now? Having an incredibly rough time. 7-1, the score. Up
In the
against Lava,
arrow,
and this arrow's just
it's-
about gonna connect. He walks back into it, and MJZ down.
They were playing much more aggressive this time around. Coming out of the laning stage, they kind of parked Medusa to the bottom lane. Mars got a lot of solo XP on the top, so he doesn't die to Juggernaut's combo. He feels very safe. They also don't have like stuns. The only stun is Snapfire early on. Legion Commander just cracked level 6, but he also does not want to rotate to the top lane. So this Mars should feel relatively safe if he feels threatened. If Cookie is used, can TP out, so should be good. I didn't mention Leshrac because Leshrac will definitely not go to the top lane. He needs to recover right now. Leo style 0-3 and 0, 29 CS.
Yeah.
What's the net worth difference? Oof, almost
I don't know, but
double.
he's being run out again.
If you feel confident that you can win the game, this one, like this is when you question mark. They kill you 3 times and maybe 4th time, then you question mark. But you gotta feel, pretty confident that other lanes are going well, because you're definitely not gonna solo win this game considering the situation they're in right now. Rana.
Yeah, going very deep for that IO and pays dearly for it. Leapt forward onto Katyu, who was going for that D ward. The courier was also like half HP, so Mirana going for multiple targets and gets none of them.
That's one way to come back into the game. They got the Observer Ward killed, and also Leostyle managed to get the last hit on Mirana.
And it looks like Frank now has Armlet on the Legion with duel ready, but on the run, away from Mini, who's rotated bottom. Good little cookie back, but
They're gonna get both of them.
never going to be enough. They'll take down both of them in that bot lane, and that's what we've been waiting for Mini to do. He's put so much pressure mid, put Leostyle under his boot, and switches straight down to bottom to help Benny.
I like the item choice from Mini. Understands that he's doing so well. Even though it's a great Spirit Vessel game, you're playing into 3 heals, which 2 of them can be dispelled. Like if you use one on Juggernaut, he can Blade Fury that off. Legion Commander with the press the attack. But a lot of healing, I still feel like he should go for it later on. Hand of Midas picked up, so that means that he wants to scale, wants to get levels. Kotaro on the top lane.
Is there another leap? And an arena. Just as the spin ends, Valky able to pick it up, and they know that someone also TP'd there. Snapfire is behind the tower, but they're not going to stick around. It's a good point to bring up, though. We saw Mini against Beast Coast playing Invoker with Crosswex build, go earn, and then he went for like Blink and Aghanim Scepter.
Midas, come on.
Leostyle,
I know you want that kill,
He's-
but you also want Midas.
Use the Midas, Mini.
You do not want to
Cooldown,
use
but they're
it on
hunting for more
minicamp.
kills.
Let's see if he goes for the big camp.
IO.
Oh, he wants the Kata. Okay.
Yeah. Big catapult kill.
I was thinking,
Leostyle,
Mirana
1-4
will kill
nil.
the Kata and he can just use it straight away. Medusa, big kill on the bottom. Winner, winner. First dual damage.
And Juggernaut now needing to spin away, though. Valky doesn't have a spear, but they've got that Tornado EMP catching up Kotaro, even through the... Ooh, the damage. He's got that press the attack, healing him.
Oh, that's such a nice play
off
from
the
Kotaro.
mark.
Can he get another
And
spin-off?
Kotaro finally dies to that spear, but in comes Leostyle, looking for a bit of vengeance now onto Valky's Mars. But Leostyle is, I don't know, just so far behind in terms of itemization, levels, and net worth. He dies. Jupiter's there to clear him up. I am now trying to save Frank's Legion, but another Tornado EMP is going to clip and connect on her. Mirana, unfortunately, out of mana, so no additional Star Storms or arrows coming.
I said, Kotaro did a very nice play there. Hides in the trees, uses the trusty shovel, picks up the mango, and his Blade Fury was about to get off cooldown in 2 seconds. So if he manages to get away from that, that would be pretty dope. Also a bit surprised Leshrac. I mean, for us, it's easy because we see both sides. I think that stun would connect at least on one person if he landed it immediately. Could make a hell lot of a difference, but decided to actually stop the split earth and not cast it at all.
Yeah, it's been a rough one for that Lash, running around with the arcane boots, trying to get Eul Scepter. It's 12 minutes in, and then you've got Mini, who's on what, round 2 of his Hand of Midas now.
Yeah,
Top of the net worth
this might be the third
Invoker.
Midas usage.
And you haven't really stopped Benny's Medusa from farming. She just pushes out mid lane, can go back into that Radiant Triangle. And that's a problem for another day, I think, for Lava. They've got to consider what they need to do right here, right now.
Mini is Chad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's more of a Giga Chad than Mini Chad, but he's really playing well. All of his rotations, we can say, it also goes back to Mirana. Landing some really nice arrows early on. Bottom lane once again.
Yeah, catching Legion Commander out completely. Good little Nature's Grasp and Overgrowth. Try and secure this kill. Frank will armor toggle a little bit. But that Star Storm connecting right at the end means his days are over. 12-minute rune. DD for Leo. Leostyle CS is pretty high. He's top of the CS, but it's all been little jungle creeps.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to see what Mini buys next. If he wants to finish the full Spirit Vessel, or if he gets like more of a global presence, gets boots of travel, gets more mana. I think it's a good response to what they got. Like IOs relocate, and then you can try to outnumber them. You also have Treant Protector, who doesn't have a point in living armor yet, but I assume he's gonna max it out now because Leech Seed is not like Leech Seed is just for the lane, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or if you're fighting quite a lot, which did happen, but points in Nature's Grabs seem much better.
And then what next for him? Do you want him to go like a Holy Locket or something? Or is Blink Dagger for Treant such a required item now? Oh, a Catch Lash again. Mini. Focusing onto Leo style, and even though they've got some heals coming, and Mortimer's Kiss is landing on the Invoker, it will just be the Lash to die.
I think Arrow stopped Mortimer's Kisses, but he was also running out of the range, so should have been okay. Io, in trouble.
Turns into a little piggy and squeals off to safety. Also, what was nice... could go Ags, or if I want like a Scythe of Vice to catch Jug pre-spin or get on top of the Lash Rack, that additional disable is always handy. Lincoln Sphere is a defensive option queued though.
They have no abilities to pierce that Lincoln Sphere with other than Yule Scepter on Lash. Because you're protecting yourself against duel. That's it. That's his thinking right now. Might change his mind. We'll see what he decides to go for. I still feel it's like, in terms of what they can pop the Lincolns with, it's a good Lincolns game. Other than that, like it's just duel pretty much. But there are ways of protecting with like Medusa, Ulti, Spear, Arena. So many like spells you can throw onto. Even Overgrowth is a pretty good one. In my opinion, I would just go Aghanim Scepter in this situation. Because Lincoln Sphere is pretty expensive top lane. They have
the
Dust,
raindrops.
they have Sentry.
Lets him blink away. Valky, under a sentry now, does Arena but dueled up inside it. The Gladiators battle. And the Kisses thrown out towards the additional members of the Radiant, joining in as they arrow and connect onto Frank's Legion. Toggles, press the attack ready, turns the fight in towards Mini, but the Overgrowth is there. Nuages traps them all in the brambles and vines, and Kim tornadoed up.
That's a nice move from Apu Kings. They like lose one hero, they feed away damage the Legion Commander, but they still get 2 kills in return, and most importantly, Medusa is farming. Like, this is their win condition. They have ways of amplifying their Medusa. Solar Crest already done on Mirana, because Mirana usually gets either a Spirit Vessel or just earn into Yule Scepter. This time around, you had Invoker who wanted to pick up that Urn of Shadows, so you're skipping it. There's Alacrity, there's Treant Protector Armor, so many stuff that you can throw onto your Medusa. If they finish this Skadi, I think this is going to be the big timing. Skadi into try to get Roche. They have enough damage. Like, try to go for a smoke, get a kill or 2, and then transition into Roche.
That's why it's nice that they are focusing pretty heavily on that top part of the map, right? Treants there farming jungle camps. They've got the Invoker not too far away, but a dual victory will come because of this. Vision scouted out. Sentry already there for Mini to take it.
Uses Sunstrike, gets the D-Ward. Nicely done. Staying on top of the net worth, even out farming Medusa at this point, which is pretty impressive.
It's all about creating that barrier in front of Medusa's triangle. Guard Roshan, guard your farm. And try and make sure that you don't give too much to this Juggernaut, because he is starting to catch up. Right, speaking of catching up, Leshrac has done a tremendous job here to be third in net worth after 6 deaths.
Leshrac
has
pretty much played around Outpost, and this is why Leshrac on Dire is so much better than on Radiant, because camps are much closer. You can farm like 2 camps at the same time. Like you can stack the third one, especially with Io, who's providing you that mana regen. So managed to actually make a comeback, almost as farmed as Medusa right now.
Yeah, and then you let your Juggernaut split push, cut waves, move around the map, and you've got that relocate with Io to maybe come down bottom and make a play here. Because the Kings are hunting for Jug. Kataro, tucked away in the trees, will disguise himself from this Mirana and Mars. And they start to TP down bottom, so Snap's joining, as is the Legion Commander. And of course, that relocate at the ready if need be. Valky thinking about this. He's got Arena, Blink, and Spear, but he just spears the Juggernaut back. Blinks away from the initiation
he
of
gets
flank
it
with a long-range
with the
duel,
talent.
plus 200 on the talent. As easy as you like to set up for a kill. No victory, but it's a big pick nonetheless. That's 40 seconds now without Mars.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Mirana on the backside getting a courier snipe.
She feels pretty safe. 3 leap charges. The only way to catch her is Yule Scepter into Split Earth, which is doable, but the Leshrac was not close. No dual damage, but as we said, cast range coming up from that duel, very handy. It looked definitely more than 200 extra.
Kataro, he's going to spin and think about retreating, cook it away. Snake is coming. They've lost Mini top lane in the meanwhile as Leo Style finds him, but Juggernaut, a huge target into the Sunstrike, and the Overgrowth is there. The arrow connecting from the river up the high ground. Jupiter, very, very thankful for that mini buyback, which sets up the kill for them.
Not worth it. Who got the last hit? Treant gets the last hit, so it's really not worth it. Next time you die, you're giving away so much space, so much time for Lava to do things around the map. Juggernaut saw Treant and managed to, alright, it was a split decision. He's gonna overgrowth me. I need to run away. Tries to run away. Treant holding onto that overgrowth until Sunstrike is used to see where it's gonna land. Perfectly connects. It's gonna be much easier once he finishes off the Manta style, so it's gonna be a great way of dispelling things.
True. And it all started with a 4-second arrow from Mirana out of the blue. Very well set up onto that Juggernaut. Now you got to be thinking as the Kings. Medusa pretty much ready. We've waited long enough for this Skadi to be up and running. Our Invoker just bought back. Are we strong enough to go and try for Roshan?
Medusa's going for Manta style next, at least what's queued up. Not a big fan here. You need, either you finish off S and Y for duel to last and stuns. Because Manta style doesn't, he can't dispel anything at this point. There's literally nothing that he can dispel. Yeah, so you either go for a big item or you go for S and Y. Kotaro dying one more time. This is big. Apu King's playing, I would say, 2 times better compared to the previous game.
Yeah, they're finding these individual pickoffs left and right? Pressuring that Leshrac in the mid lane. Now killing off the Juggernaut. One by one. Smoking from that bot lane in towards their Medusa as well. Who's nearby? Frank and Kim, the smoked Legion and Snapfire. Lesh and Io show on that mid lane. They want something to kick off here, and Valky, he will make the jump forward. Yule's on the Io and
the pause. Duel still not cast, so this will give Mirana time. At least Mirana can't Yule Scepter on Legion Commander, because Legion has a shard, so that means magic immune, but could try potentially to leap out. He's not getting the damage on dual command dual commander. Okay.
Dual commander. Oh man. Yeah, the IO disconnects. That's an awkward one. So you don't have Juggernaut. 5 heroes from the Radiant are in the mid lane.
This is a really bad pause for Lava. Mortimer's Kisses just used by Snapfire. So Mirana, what she does, like she can see the situation right now and gives her more time to respond. Leaps in front, uses the Yule Scepter, or arrow was already flying somewhere, or it like hits something. Not sure where it is. I can't find it. But your play is leap into Yule Scepter, Snapfire to stop the ulti.
What's the plan for Lesh? Does Leo just cut his losses and run?
Tether
Doesn't seem like it's a
available
fight they
on
want to win.
IO. Like we can theory craft about what's gonna happen the next 20 seconds. Mars
Yeah, there's
has,
Tether mech, but
has that spear, so Mars wants to use spear on Io, who's being in the cyclone right now. But Io wants to tether out, so let's see if he can land that one. Could potentially screw the pause might mess it up.
then there's an Invoker with an Arcane Rune coming. Tornado off
Ideally,
cooldown.
like Legion Commander would love to duel Mirana, and they would get the damage off because of Snapfire ulti. If you duel Treant Protector now, Mirana will stop the Snapfire ulti. Like even if duel is like kind of cancelled with the Overgrowth, he's still gonna get the damage from full Mortimer's Kisses. Let's see where the rest is. Kotaro, still dead. He's been dead for the last 2-3 minutes of this cast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Legion Commander's also going to do a bit of a spin there, 90-degree turn to try and duel the Mirana. But away we go back into it. Mirana leaps across. Duel is there. Kiss is landing, but the Overgrowth, you're right, cancels it out. Io's still alive, but this arena catches Cat U inside. A two-man tornado and a Sunstrike to land as well, as Nuage is the first one to die. Legion survives as Medusa looking to chase down Frank, but a good press the attack to get away from the arrow. And two supports, the only casualty so far for the Dire, but Frank, the feeder, as he's tagged up as, looks like he's about to die.
Can he
with
toggle
the urn
out
on
of
him.
this?
Oh, press the attack, Sunstrike misses. Frank, he's running and blinking, he's survived.
Spear, not gonna connect. He should be fine. Mirana out of leaps. Sacred Arrow. Ooh, let's wait a second. BKB nicely done. Picks up the arrow. Yeah, I don't think he's getting out of this one.
Nah, they still found him.
Still,
Juggernaut went to farm the triangle, Lash went top, there's no one to help him.
This pause a bit unfortunate for lava players, because Apu Kings, they could theory craft like what could potentially go wrong. In the end, it was Medusa ulti that stopped the Mortimer's Kisses, so no dual damage. And Medusa, in the end, decides to not pick up the Manta style that I talked about. It's really no use, so you want to just get a bit more status resistance against the stuns, against the duel, even though you're not going to get duel. Like, this is not the target.
Bit of a sneaky move into the Roche pit here. Jug and Snap
They don't know
killing
about it.
Roche. Sunstrike launched top lane. They're hunting for the Io, who's sat behind the Lash, spearing Leo style towards the Medusa and the Treant, and also finding the Io with a tornado. Tether across, but the arena's there. Even with that great amount of heal coming in from Cat U, they will still both die. But in the meantime, Roshan has been slain.
It was a nice move. It was really nice move from Lava. I don't think they needed to commit to the top lane. Maybe cut the losses, show Io, just say whatever, and get that Aegis. It's not about them holding the Aegis. It's about stopping Medusa from getting that Aegis and going for the high ground.
Yeah, make sure that momentum is halted. And Medusa picks up a crit now as well on top of that S and Y. And they want to go on a bit of an excursion down towards the Dire Triangle, it looks like. Plenty of heroes here to maybe try and push the tier 1 tower too. A 6k lead. Still being held by the Kings. Majority of that, of course, on the Medusa. 15,000 net worth, sitting very pretty at the top of the chart. And a Radiant scan. Treant standing front line, but Juggernaut not connected to a tree by the spear. And this gives an opportunity to Lava to try and reclaim their triangle with this Dire Observer Ward seeing everything that the Kings are doing.
It would be really cool if you could spear onto Treant if he's in your team, but he needs to like stand still for at least 5 seconds. He's just like there existing.
Are you one of those people that wants to tango Treant as well? Quelling Blade the Treant?
It doesn't
cut him
necessarily
down.
need to insta kill him, but maybe
10% damage?
it's just some chip damage, like 1 damage. It can't be lethal, but just for the memes. I think that would be fine.
You chop off his pinky.
Send it, like send me, PayPal me $30 right now, or the rest is also gonna fall off.
Turn you into firewood, which Legion Commander is attempting to do with the Blink Duel. And that's a TP that's arriving. Mini wants to fight this. Tornado's up, and Valkyrie's here with a spear across to the left-hand side. They're even going to
Another
Moonlight
press
Shadow
is
to try
ready.
and disengage from mid lane, but right, Frank, press the attack up, still dies. And that Moonlight Shadow allows Mirana to slip away from Io Lesh, who are coming in towards mid.
I try to hype up the situation that he was in, press the attack, maybe something happens. He's stuck, he's in the corner, can't really do much. Bottom lane, Medusa, Benny TP's out, finishes off full Daedalus. So that's gonna hurt quite a lot also. Got that level 20 talent. Mystic Snake, plus 30%. Not sure why that's still 30%, because it feels a bit OP. 1 snake bounces on 2 heroes, suddenly you're full mana. Io will get caught after the reload.
And relocated Lesh top to get the split push going. So it does give a lot of room for the Kings to maneuver. Again, bottom tier 1 is open for them.
What Lava needs to do is try to split the map as much as they can. Try to make stuff happen with the relocate, with the duel. Anyone who shows on the side lane, like this is where they need to play. Legion Commander plus relocate every single time it's up. Here we go on
Blink Duel on
Medusa.
They go straight on Dusa. With the Omni Slash and Kisses, they're doing some
She's out of
significant
mana.
damage, but the Cataclysm's coming, Leo style. He's close to death, the crit lands in, and the arrow's there. Benny finds the takedown on Lesh. Kotaro can't stick on a target. They don't get anybody.
That was so close. And he also needed to turn off Mana Shield after popping the Magic Wand, because if you lose that bit of a mana, you would not have enough to cast a Mystic Snake, and 1 Mystic Snake could make a whole fight turn around and feel a bit different. It was very ambitious move to try to go for Medusa like that, because she's super tanky, especially with the Treant, with the Solar Crest thrown at her.
Well, that was Mini unveiling the Aghanim Scepter, though. Cataclysm causing some problems for Lava when they tried to get in on top of 1 target.
Benny's going for Satanic next. That will make him more tanky. I would still prefer if that's Butterfly in this situation, because what you are afraid of is Juggernaut dealing damage with the Omni, and also Legion Commander. Like, he doesn't have the scariest damage 30 minutes in, it's plus 50, but it's still a lot of right clicks. Now
Definitely
switching to
can be.
BKB. Okay. I think
BKB
his item
against
build
Lash
is
and
pretty...
Snap.
It's pretty straightforward here. I think it's Butterfly into Satanic. So you have like 2 lives pretty much.
Yeah, that
They
makes
can't
that
burst
makes a
you.
lot of
There's
sense.
no way to burst you, especially with Treant Protector, who has a Blink Dagger. So if you feel like threatened, he can blink in. There is Tornado to cancel the stuff in the backlines. Snapfire ulti should not go off in the team fights, especially if they have vision, because there is like Mirana with the arrow, with the leap into Yule Scepter if arrow is used, Tornado in the backlines. There's so many ways to stop it.
And you've got Alacrity Solar Crest, right? So it makes Butterfly
Yes.
Satanic even more valuable. Or Frank. He dodged away from the Mars, but Nuages is there. Quick little press the attack into duel. Little shredder going. Cataclysm onto Frank. Will do a little bit of damage, but they're stuck inside the arena now. Spear misses, though. Valky doesn't stick the lash to the side. 2 supports are trapped, though, as Cat U tethers away, but unfortunately, Kim moves on this Snapfire. Gonna get chased down by the Skadi slows, and off to the right-hand side, they get back in on top of the Dire, but can't find any additional kills. Frank is hidden in the trees. Io and Lesh have tethered and relocated down bottom. So the Kings will just clear up the Io as he returns into the Death Squad.
Still feel that's fine for Lava. They want to get some more... Oh, Frank needs to be careful. it's being pinged out, he immediately goes back. They ping that they have observer ward there before he even placed it, and this caught a glimpse. They know.
They know he's there now. Press, blink, duel in. He's going for the aggressive play onto Mini. Leshrac is Yulesed up though, and they don't get the takedown. Split Earth onto the Mars, but the Tornado trying to disengage Valky, but Kataro. He's there with the Swift Slash, that Aghanim's upgrade. Quickly dispatched with the Mars, while Jupiter on the run. Mini thinking about what to do next.
This should get rewarded, this anti-Tinker ward. Juggernaut, pretty much a different game for Kataro compared to the previous one. What did he end the game with? 20, 0, and 3? This time around, 1, 4, and 2. I mean, he needed to recover going for full Mjolnir, which I think is fine, especially with the Swift Slash now that it's online. I like to call that O Mini Slash, so if he uses it on Mini, I don't know what's that gonna be. Double O Mini Slash?
Double O Mini Slash. It's gonna be very small. Mini walking back into them. How do they pop the Lincolns?
He popped it with Fey Grenade before.
Duel on cooldown. And Mini on the run. Leshrac cookied forward. Does the Invoker have a TP? Of course, he's got boots of travel, so he could try, but the stuns will land. And he's been held in place here as Mini found in that bottom right-hand corner.
That's big. Like, he also tried to do the same thing on the top lane with the Fey Grenade. I'm not sure why that's still a thing. I think Bullwhip got fixed, so it doesn't, but Fey Grenade, for some reason, it procs the Lincolns.
It's a bit busted.
You...
Is that the first time Invoker died since he bought back, by the way?
I believe so. Man, I think he died one more time. Because 80 seconds, level 22.
No, it was 100.
Oh, it was 100? Yeah,
seconds,
that's correct. Yeah, because I was like 80 seconds, 32 minutes in. If he's level 22, that sounds okay. But if it was 100, then, yep.
It's like 106 seconds. So that point you were making, what, 10 minutes ago about the next time Invoker dies, there's a huge opportunity here for Lava.
Is what I love about you, Gary. You're actually listening to what I'm saying, and this is why you're not improving. This is why you're stuck at your MMR for a very long time.
Because I listened to Lacoste.
Exactly. This guy, my analyst guy who works at Valve events told me that this is good. And you're playing turbo mode and nothing makes sense.
Turbo and ability draft. Those are my games. Evoker dead for 30 seconds still. Might have to consider buying back if this keeps on going.
Buy back again?
Yeah, buy back again for what? But no, there's living armor. There's a creep wave arriving now, but a little too slow for Lava to keep that push chugging forward. But it feels like the game has become much more even. Like, laning stage was dominant from the Kings. And now they've allowed Lava to come back into it little by little. Next Roshan. He's alive now, but that's going to be a huge fight, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Shard plus Aegis. Juggernaut already has a Shard. Legion has a Shard. If Lava gets it, you give it to Leshrac, or you can give it to Io. I assume Leshrac, because the fights are going to be, like, longer, and you want that to keep going, that stun. Snapfire also has it. On the Radiant side, I mean, you can give it to Medusa, but they don't have, like, abilities to actually use on Medusa, so it feels kind of useless. I think just give it to Invoker so that you have 3 meteors.
Yeah, the big triple. Bloodstone on the Lash. Incredibly tanky now, with Shiver's Guard, BKB, of course. And Roshan scanned by the Dire. But they're under Radiant Vision as the move in. The kisses launched towards the Radiant. Roshan sitting at about 2,000 health. Now attempted by Kataro as the Cataclysm comes in onto Frank and blows him up. dead in the river, while Juggernaut still spinning Roshan down, but Benny snatches the Aegis. Overgrowthing the Jug, Kataro has the Manta to try and run. He Omni slashes in towards them, but they've got
loses
Ghost
vision.
and the defensive moves as Benny just stands his ground and whacks away. A beautiful arrow placed into the back of the Juggernaut. Leave him dead for 80 seconds, and this is really well done by the Kings. Self-Fuels will stop the spear landing on Leshrac, but Leo style, he's still down. Benny's too powerful. The Medusa
This is
with
the
a triple
game-winning
kill,
fight
and
for them. You know, getting
Yeah.
a full team wipe, also taking out the Legion commander, who did not have buyback. He was 100 gold short, now 50 gold short for that buyback. They have outpost the TP2, but it was a bit too late. You know, I feel the approach was not there. They needed to try to backstab. Like, killing the Treant Protector in that fight would be pretty big. He also did not have buyback in that fight, so couldn't come back. Now Medusa holding on to Aegis. She, in the end, decided to pick up the shard, which doesn't feel too great, but yeah, hits level 25. Split shot uses modifiers. Pretty much you always take that. Alacrity, Solar Crest. In the fight, Medusa just feels super powerful. I don't think they can burst her. They need to play around. They need to reset with the heals. But this game might just be over.
Yeah, it's starting to feel that way. Swift blink Benny moves on to the barracks. Mid and bottom lane cleared up with ease. Frank scouted out as well. Spam pinged. Look at this! Look at this bottom creep wave, by the way.
It's a huge one, yeah.
Double wave, double catapult. There's like 4 range creeps, but the buildings are already dead, so it's just going to be free money here for the Juggernaut. And only 1 lane remains for Lava. A lot to do to come back into this against a severely overfarmed Medusa. 30,000 net worth to call her own. Backed up by Valky's Mars. Walking under dire vision for a sec. Lava see the Medusa. They see Mini in that top lane as well. It's going to be the Jug onto the Treant, though, that claims that first kill of the fight. Unsettling for the Kings, because he's dead for a minute. That's no overgrowth and no living armor.
Now it's time
They
to
play
strike.
aggressively.
Like, they need to go in. They need to make something happen. Mini slash available. So is ulti from Jug. Let's see. Ooh, he tried to go for it.
Yeah, now he's being slowed down by that Scotty. They need the cookie back, and that's Mini playing aggressively and hexing Frank's Legion commander, so stopping any real attempt of aggression, which you wanted. They're continuing to go high ground. No Treant, no cares. Just push tier 3.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under
Bit of a counter push bottom. Gets towards the high ground of the Radiant, but nothing really claimed there by Lava. They're going to TP back. They have to defend. They need to fight this. Omni Slash. Juggernaut's in with his Swift Slash. As Legion does get the pressy attack and move forward, but no dual attempt. The BKB from Benny forces
Oh, arrow
them to
actually
retreat.
connects.
And a Sunstrike there. The Cataclysm lands. Not quite enough. The Healing Ward will top up Kim's Snapfire, but that is now Mega Creeps. Lava, such a difficult spot to be in. Again, play aggressively towards Valky, but that Deafening Blast, pushing it and disarming the Legion Commander, leaves her in an awful spot. Oh, Jupiter surviving, thanks to the Yules on the Juggernaut. Kataro, he's just being duped and kited around. He can't do a damn thing. Benny's too strong. An Omni Slash is a small one. The big one comes now, but I don't know if he can get a single kill. The Yule Scepter will tank it all. Buybacks galore, though, as Legion, Lash, and the Treant all come. Returning to
he
the fight.
gets
As
him.
Kataro, he gets a kill. Kills off Jupiter, leaping in towards the spin. But Benny still has Aegis for a minute. Back to half mana as Valky forces the Snapfire away. Lava are regrouping around this Lash onto the Medusa. They're focusing Benny here, but another Mystic Snake makes her so tanky. You can't deal with Benny at this point. He's tickling away and chipping through Kataro's HP pool. Leo Style with another Yule Scepter up. They are going to try and bring down Benny at long last, but another Snake. The Medusa
And
is
another one,
untouchable.
cold-blooded.
Just keeps on snaking this mana back from Lava, and a triple kill claimed by Benny leads to the GG call.
Leshrac kind of messed up in the end. Medusa was completely out of mana. He uses Lightning Storm, which does absolutely nothing. It doesn't deal damage to Medusa at this point, and with one Mystic Snake, she goes back to half mana, which gives her or mana to use Mystic Snake, which in the end gives her more mana. But yeah, doesn't really matter. It's about like the little things, but at this part of the game, it didn't really matter. This is why Train Protector and Medusa is a super strong combination. You're just delaying the game. Their late game is also very powerful. There was some really nice moves from Lava where they went in and sneak in the Roche. Kind of delayed the game for a while, but in the end, considering how much they managed to do in the first 5 to 10 minutes, is pretty impressive. This is what I like to see from the teams. They lose the game one, and they also manage to make all the right adjustments to actually play for the game two and win it.
Yeah, really well done, and silencing some of the haters. I mean, I'm included in that. Not really trusting the mid-game decision making from the King of Kings, as we've seen time and time again. But this game, they definitely pulled it out around that Medusa, and you made me realize that the Ouroboros, the recursive snake, the snake eating the snake, he's eating his own tail. That's what Medusa is. She throws a snake so she can snake, just keeps it going over and over again. But game two leads us to a draw, a tied series so far. One more game remaining, of course. We'll head back to the panel to see what they think could come in game three.
Thank you, Gareth. I've always pronounced it Ouroboros, but maybe I'm wildly wrong. A cold-blooded performance there by Benny's Medusa. Bowie, what did you make of that game too?
I mean, I am pleasantly surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised that they were able to actually take that game. I still feel like some of their decisions were not great, crisp, right? That buyback from Mini, not sure using Sunstrike there was super valuable. But overall, I think we're gonna see Invoker banned. That's what I take away from that game. He's just so good that he destroyed the Leshrac. I think that Invoker Mirana combination was way too strong. And maybe if they take the Invoker out of that equation, we could see the super dominant Lava we saw from game one.
It felt like a lanes game. Do you agree with me, Kips? That they won the lanes and they won the game. This series so far has been lanes game. Would you agree with that very succinct and terrible analysis?
Sure. I do think that Lava made a good attempt at the comeback here in giving a lot of farming priority to their Lesh in the mid game, really using that Juggernaut over on the side lanes, risking him a bit more. He has the spin to get out, of course, and hoping to get with that overwhelming magic damage of the Leshrac, a proper team fight into the Medusa. And that goes pretty well up until she buys a BKB, and then the game is over, unfortunately.
Do you think we misjudged the draft a bit there, Bowie? Because we felt that it was a stronger draft this time by Lava than was it a draft
I think
thing?
obviously the draft was stronger. I still don't really like this Juggernaut hero that much. I feel like there's way better heroes overall. I understand what they were doing with the Healing Ward IO there, but I still feel like in terms of just objective taken and team fighting, a hero like Deuce is just so easier to execute. You could see how easy it was for Benny to just right click and win the game. So I'm surprised they even banned Drow in the third phase instead of the Deuce. I think it's an overall just simple hero. Even if you get destroyed in the laning stage, recovers pretty quickly. And they really did well with the stacks on the side of King of Kings this time. The Mirana was just sleeping, getting double stacks all the time, and I think that really allowed Benny to become that beast again.
What does he do so well on the Invoke? Because you mentioned there that it was something you expected to get banned. What makes him... Because we don't see a huge amount of Invoker coming off from other teams. What's so special about his?
I mean, he just gets banned a lot in the second phase, and a lot of teams are not that confident in picking the first phase like they were able to do here. I really felt like they didn't expect the Invoker to destroy Leshrac. Honestly, it's a really good Invoker lane. Leshrac has terrible cast points, and when they're in 1v1, Invoker, the Cold Snap, whatever he throws is just super strong. Even though Leshrac is a fast hero, I also feel like they didn't really focus that much into helping the Leshrac middle, which allowed this Mirana Treant. You could see the Treant was actually middle getting first blood on the Leshrac whilst the Dusa died. So they prioritized that mid lane a lot, even to the detriment of Benny, but at the end of the day it was good enough.
I believe we're rocketing on to another draft very quickly, so we're not going to be taking a break. So Kips, why don't you talk to me a little bit about what you want to see Lava do differently in the game 3? Is it a draft thing that you'd like to see them do differently?
I'm gonna agree with Bowie here that I think the Invoker needs to get out. I also think that the Juggernaut should get swapped out for something. The fact that you got away with it in the first game in such a stylish way is not a guarantee that it's going to happen again. And I also think that they looked better with a little bit more of an active, you could say, killing draft in the first game than the little bit more pressure-based draft in the second. The LC looked a little bit too conditional. So yeah, a lot of it came down on that Lesh. And if you do not get the same kind of lane as you did in game one, then you're not going to be able to get that comeback. So I'd a bit more team fight, a bit more brawl, please.
So you feel like the strong part of Apu King's draft was the Medusa? Is that what you would ban if you were Lava Kids?
Mm, Not necessarily. Like only if you get really caught off guard by having to suddenly play tempo against lanes that are already feeling wonky. The Treant Protector did a lot in that bot lane as well. I don't think they quite expected to get clobbered that hard. So honestly, I'd like to see both of these teams play tempo here instead of hoping for the better late game pick.
So,
All
what
right.
sort of things are tempo picks for you there, Gibbs? What sort of stuff are you looking for them to pick up to allow that?
Something that's had a lot of success recently in the Americas, especially, is the Razor. I'd love to see that coming out, a big team fight center. Other options is return to that Tide snap lane, see if that can do something for you. I think both of those were, well, the snap was in there, but the Tide was a notable absence in this game thanks to the first phase ban. Maybe one of them should be looking to pick that up.
You mentioned the stakes still, Bowie, for King of Kings. Were they more stable there? Is this a momentum they can carry on? Because that was their first victory in the DPC. Obviously, their first game was against Beast Coast, which is a tough series to play. Are they beginning to stabilize as a team here, or do you still need to see more to be convinced of that?
I mean, I'm already like honestly. I guess maybe I was kind of rough on them. I'm super convinced because it's so nice to see a team coming from Division Two, now to Division One, playing pretty decent games against Beast Coast. We even talked about how they should have probably won one of those games, and that's even with their offlaner being swapped by a proven player. So it could even add some communication problems down the line. I feel like they already convinced me, but like the question is, are they the upper echelon of Division One, or are they still like a pretty good SA team, but not really able to take the second game? I think probably this last game is gonna tell that story.
It's interesting talking about those upper echelons because I think this time of the DPC is quite an interesting time because it's when we're beginning to see if the favourites are the favourites. Because people make a lot of predictions kind of before this first week starts, and now we're kind of in a position where maybe we're beginning to find out who are the big teams. So far in this South American DPC, just to round it up a little bit, is stuff turning out like you expected, or has there been any major surprises?
I mean, there's still not that many games. I think one thing that surprised me a lot, and that's a game Kips casted yesterday, was our way being defeated by Borax. I really feel like, especially after defeating Borax to in the qualifiers, that they thought they were the best teams in that in the entire Division 2. Also, they got 3-0 by Noping in the Fallen Cup that happened recently. So I don't know. I think that is probably a bigger blow to them, to their confidence than mine. I had my doubts about that team, so that's probably the biggest one so far.
How about you, Kips?
Yeah, that was definitely a huge upset. Like I'm just looking it up again. Maybe even to make sure that it really happened, right? Because that was a very hard fought game. And in the end, I think a lot of it came down to, for example, safe lane SF picks that were really quite rough for our way. They got a win with that in game 2, but game 3 looked very fragile. I was wondering if we were going to see that pick again today, and I guess I'm kind of happy that it hasn't. Are there any SF carry defenders in this panel?
I definitely think it can be good. I did see. I think it was Alliance versus. I think it was happening alongside the gamer casting Kips. It was Alliance versus
Secret.
Secret, yeah.
Secret, yeah, and they did play Carry SF Secret, and they won. And it is kind of similar to Dusa, it's similar to Luna in the sense that you get these ages and these here just melt structures. But to get there, it feels like sometimes a hero like Dusa is just better, right? The OT of Dusa is so strong. She has other qualities being harder to be taken away, to be taken down. Uh, Shadow Fiend isn't as easy to play, I think. But I don't want to say it's bad. It's definitely hard to execute. I would say.
Yeah.
Running that, you have to be super, super confident.
When would you pick one over the other? So what, Kips, if you're loving this SF so much, what sort of, because at the
not.
most there's so
No,
many
she's
other
not
things that
loving.
do it.
She's not loving it.
Let's see. I think in general you should have a lane that is pretty low contested, because if you get two heroes that can both pressure the SF, he's going to die usually on level 3, especially because you don't take raises in this lane. You just take your Necromastery and you take your Presence of the Dark Lord just to trade, and you get very vulnerable to kills. And after that, you have to recover, and then unlike a Dusa, like you can't ult and run away. You also don't have a defense mechanism. So I think this combination of having a laning stage that could end very badly for you, and then also being very gankable, like an SF that's on the side lane pressuring because he was the mid hero, right? That's a lot harder to run at, and he'll have supports with him instead of somebody who's just farming triangle. And I've seen these SFs die in triangle over and over again. So good lane, and then a lineup that can really put the thumb screws on the enemy lineup as well to make sure that you don't get caught out there.
It'd be interesting to think. Go ahead, Bo.
Go on. Yeah, I feel like the Shadow Fiend is just this like good last pick hero that you can that like if you do last pick in an offlane that's not strong enough, as Kip said, like that you don't really feel threatened, it is good. But if you don't get those things, like a lot of times, yeah, sure, it's kind of like a flex pick with similar to TA. I feel like carry TA is just much more reliable, like not only as a mid hero but also as a carry. So it's a really weird thing that maybe we'll understand more as this patch drags along. I'm not super confident on it too. I think it worked sometimes. I don't know. Techies worked sometimes.
Are there any more South American style picks that you've not yet seen that you'd like to see kind of come out? Because South America's always had a bit of a not a unique meta because everyone follows from everyone, but a slightly unusual one. Well, what could we be seeing?
I think one thing that I actually miss a lot, and maybe if we see more Beast Coast games, that might come back, is the mid Snapfire. We're seeing so much Snapfire. Could be 4, could be 5, but the core Snapfire definitely doesn't seem to be as popular, I guess, with the Axe nerf. It doesn't really look that good. But now that the Shard is so good, I would like to see, maybe an off-lane Snapfire, maybe a mid one. I think it's really fun. And it's like it scales so well. You just see all of those right click talents. It's incredible.
Anything from you, Kips?
I have seen, but maybe this is just a 40R thing, but I want to see this mid Earth Shaker that I've been casting in the Wolf Team games. I want to see more of that because Shaker does very well against all of these spirit lanes. We have a lot of spirit heroes being picked mid right now, and Earthshaker mid is just such a joy to watch.
Sure, Dark Mago is spamming that in his pub, so it is legitimately something we could see in Thunder Predator versus Hokori in the next BO3.
It's an interesting one. From what you know of the Lava Squad, so the current Lava Squad, this team have been together for so long. And I want to think about how they've kind of developed a little bit because they've all been young players. I remember meeting them at the summit 2020. When was the summit? So long ago. And they were young guys, and that was their first kind of big LAN. Do you think they've really changed as a team over the past year? Or have you noticed kind of big developments in them, Bowie?
I mean, I think they grew a lot, right? Because when Brazil in the whole scheme of South America is really small, and it really felt like a lot of players that try to somehow make it into the scene by tagging along these old guard players like HFN, Tavo, King RD. they never really grew that much. Maybe because whenever one of those teams failed, these new guys would be the scapegoats for why things didn't really work that well.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, they just built this team, and like they were memed for a long time. Like actually, when they were the old Incubus, they had their slot taken away. Like they were kicked from the team because that was actually a meme. They didn't had any 8K plus players.
Oh wow.
And when they started again with another stack, being Binomistas, they beat the new Incubus, and they like all chatted the whole time, like, oh, 8K, 8,000, and stuff like that. So these guys grinded a lot, all right? They were memed. There were definitely a lot of people that didn't believe in them being good, and like, obviously they had a couple of player changes, but overall, I think at least the Tricore, Mini plus Jupiter plus Nuages, they've been for a long, long time. Even Benny, and I mean, here they are. So I'm very proud to see those guys, grinding so much, because it's a super tough environment, right? Dota, and especially SA Dota.
It is a tough environment. These teams must know each other pretty well by this point. These players have been playing in the same environment for a huge amount of time. Is there a degree to the fact that SA as a region is somewhat more insular, that these teams are going to be able to predict and understand what they're going to do better than other regions? Would you agree with that, Bowie?